Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Whether you're here in the United States, up above us in Canada, across the world in Australia, or leaped over the pond in the UK or Europe, or elsewhere. Welcome to Without a Crystal Ball. You are coming to you on the day before a humongous season of holidays here in the States, and many families are prepping for time with families and friends. But I am here today doing content as normal and wanted to talk about the upcoming season of Sister Wives. So welcome to my channel if you are new. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you give my videos a thumbs up. Also, before you leave, to all of my subscribers, welcome back. To my members, I see you. Hello, good morning, good evening, good eye. And if you're interested in joining to have perks, make sure you think about joining the members. Join and become members to earn member perks such as member-only chat and other member-only content. All right, so the new season of Sister Wives is starting on January 5th. It's been off the air for a minute, and before we left last season, the family was prepping for a move to Flagstaff. Kody Brown and his wives decided, well, I don't know that all of his wives were actually on board with this. I feel like some of the wives really wanted to stay in Vegas. However, there could have been some issues related to maybe balloons on their houses expiring and they were about to have to owe the whole balances on their houses. I don't know. That was a rumor someone was swirling around. But they decided they needed to move, and discussion surrounded around what kind of thoughts the kids might be getting exposed to at school. However, others like Janelle and Meri really enjoyed the fact that there was an open and accepting aspect of Las Vegas where they weren't so much on the spot. They could sort of live their lives, and they would be moving to Flagstaff, Arizona being a much more conservative state, Flagstaff being a more conservative town, not necessarily filled with polygamists. They were concerned about that decision to move. Despite all of that, the family plunked down over $800,000 on a piece of property called Coyote Pass and planned to, and had the land divided into 4 plots to build 4 homes. Prior to the move, they, at the end of last season, Kody sort of dropped a bomb on them that he wanted them to potentially live in one giant McMansion, like with 30 million thousand square feet, and having separate quarters for each one of the wives. Obviously, having the wives not having lived together for a very long time, and not since have they shared a house since they've added wife number 4, Robyn. So the idea of the family living in one humongous house left many of the wives less than interested, or I don't know. They just weren't as enthused as Kody, let's just say. So with the new season kicking off, there has been a couple clips that have come out. There's been a preview clip, and then there was a first look that actually debuted on TLC. And during the first look, they actually went in and looked at the houses, or moving into the houses of the area. So in the beginning, they're moving into Robyn's house, which is ginormous. Robyn ends up renting a 6,000 square foot home, which had a rental tag of $3,500. It had 7 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. It was ginormous, and Meri also had a pretty large sized rental as well. So these 2 women have humongous houses, and I'll just show you some photos here. So there's a teaser from Janelle. This is the backyard of Robyn's house, 6,000 square feet. This is Meri's palatial rental. Now, she doesn't live there anymore, but this was the home that she initially moved into. And I should remind you, Meri is one person. Her daughter, Mariah, does not live with her anymore. She lives in Chicago with her fiance. And so when we see Janelle's home, it's kind of like a tiny little shack. Now, it's actually not tiny, by the way. Janelle's house that they moved into for a rental isn't exactly tiny in terms of like the real world scope of things. It just is it's a shanty town compared to Robyn's 6,000 square foot home. The home she rents is just under 2,000 square feet, or just over 2,000 square feet. It has a price tag or a worth of $300,000. Robyn's rental, on the other hand, was worth over $1 million. And he says in the preview that Robyn's getting scraps. Robyn gets $1 million rental, and Janelle gets a 2,000 square foot home that's like 3 times less for what it's worth. And it appears that her house has 0 backyard. The houses they could probably high five each other, like between the neighbors. And the house, as it goes to the street, is literally on the street. So there's no front yard, there's no backyard. The houses are stacked right on top of each other. It could have been that the wives had the option to choose where they lived when they moved. And so this could have been Janelle making a more economic decision, because when they did make the choice to move to Flagstaff, they still had 4 properties that they owned in Las Vegas that had not yet been sold. And Christine and Kody were the only ones that actually purchased a home, and the home that they purchased together was over $500,000. It had, 3 bedrooms. Robyn's house was Christine's house was a little bit bigger than this Janelle's house, but first wife Meri and fourth wife, favorite wife Robyn, got the palatial estates. So not really sure, but in the newest clip, they're moving in to this apparently a little, for them, compared to their homes in Las Vegas. This is so tiny, you guys. It's really not tiny. In the real world, 2,000 square foot is more than enough for most families. People don't usually need that much more space. So, but in the new clip, apparently Meri's left a little bit speechless. So they're moving in and the house is kind of small. And Meri's just like, whoa. Well, this is super cute. Super cute is like charming. Like, when someone says like, that's so charming. It's like, I don't know what else to say except this is cute. Yeah, this is cute. Like, that's how I imagine Meri saying it. This is so cute, Janelle. Not a lot of living space, not a super big living room, dining room, anywhere. There's a bedroom. Kody apparently points out that Janelle's house is tiny. Thanks, Kody. Like, Kody is not a man of... Okay. So, when it's all said and done, they're moving in. The family is unloading at the first house in the sneak peek in Flagstaff. It's Janelle's house. It's the smallest of all 4 of the homes that are rented. And it has extremely close proximity. And Meri says to her, well, this is super cute. Yay. Okay. Kody also had the audacity to remind Janelle when they were at Robyn's house about the large patio that's on Robyn's back house, if I'll show you back here. So when they're out on the patio, see that large patio on the second floor, he reminded Janelle, like, you don't have anything like this at your house. Gee, Kody, you're so sweet. Thanks for reminding Janelle that she's the least favorite wife. Okay, I've always had the sense that Janelle and Kody have much more of a sort of like friendship, not necessarily a romantic connection anymore. They do seem to get along and they have a lot of the same interests, and Janelle is definitely very business-minded and has been managing a lot of the family finances, and she might have been the more practical one of the 4 to make a choice to do a smaller one, considering the fact at the time they had 4 properties that had not sold. Now, to give you an idea, Janelle's house, when they left Las Vegas, she purchased the home in 2012 for $443,000. It had 4.5 bathrooms, and it was listed at $649,000 in 2018. It had 4,238 square feet, a humongous kitchen with granite counters, a master suite with a spa and bath. So that actually ended up selling for $575,000. That was one of the first homes to sell. Robyn's house in Vegas sold for $603,000. A month after Janelle's, it was listed for $619,000. They bought it for $445,000. And that house had a similar size and space to Janelle's. Meri's home sold on June 10th, 2019 for $574,000, and it was originally listed for $599,000. They plunked, so they leave Flagstaff with 4 homes that are over $500,000. So they leave Las Vegas before they even sell over $2 million in real estate. Not to say that that's not how much they have. Like, they might have had loans or mortgages, but they had that amount of debt that they left before even selling. Like, who literally packs up, moves, and leaves before you sell your property? Oh, that's what the sister wives do, okay? So the last home to sell was, I think it was Christine's home. And that home sold in September for $535,000, and that was on September 27th. So as of September 27th, 2019, all 4 homes in the cul-de-sac in Vegas have been sold. When they moved there, they had the 4 mortgages from that house. They also had plunked down $820,000 on the property. They purchased the $500,000 home of Christine's and then rented 3 separate homes. Imagine being this irresponsible with money. You guys, this is like, is this why they always are moving so much? Okay, so let's get back to the scoop. So Janelle's house is going to be the smaller of all of them, but it's Meri's house that ends up being the biggest problem. Because apparently on the first, like as they're moving into Meri's house, this palatial estate right here, like massive, right? She is met by neighbors who apparently called the cops. So the very first day that they move in, the cops are called on Meri because the neighbors do not want polygamists to live in their neighborhood. They don't want them there. They're not interested in them being there. And Meri ultimately ended up moving from that first rental. If you remember, she recently rented a new home that has a sales price of over $750,000, and she's renting the home now in the woods of Flagstaff for $4,500 a month. And Robyn is now out of her rental, which cost, again, $3,500, and she and Kody plucked down almost over $900,000 for a McMansion in Flagstaff, in rural Flagstaff. Now, it's not super big. It's actually smaller than the rental that she had, but Meri's new rental is ginormous. I mean, massive, considering the fact that it's, again, only Meri living there. And Janelle seems to be remaining in the same place. And again, Christine owns where she lives. So right now, Janelle is still holed up in that home. In comparison to where her other sister wives are living, it's much smaller, which really begs the question, like, how do they make these choices as wives? Why does Kody say that Robyn's getting scraps when Robyn literally has $1 million home, and yet Janelle is like in a home that's worth $300,000? That, if I were Janelle, I'd be like, hey, yo, Kody, scraps, table scraps for 3 over here. Hey, Kody, remember me? Your third wife, or is he the second wife? Your second wife, the mother of 6 of your kids. I don't get it. But Robyn's consistently the favorite, and she's the most healthy uterus in the bunch at this point in time. And I'm sure Kody is on the prowl for a new uterus because he and his family need to produce as many loins of children for his kingdom, and he needs as many wives as possible. So, are you sort of like shocked by the discrepancy in the sizes of the homes here? I know some of you probably don't really care, but I always think it's odd that like they're trying to play this out like Robyn and Kody have some sort of tension going on here, when Robyn is clearly in what I feel is the favorite wife, and I think what most fans feel is the favorite wife. Meri is like off doing her business stuff. She's traveling. She literally never posts photos with the family. Janelle does post some photos with the family. Christine is always off with her kids. And Kody and Robyn are sort of like holed up. And I'm guessing if like they still do the like, remember when Kody used to like be like one night here, one night here, one night here? Do you want to bet he ever spends do you want to bet he spends 0 nights ever with Meri? I have this feeling that they have literally no relationship. And I'm guessing he probably spends a lot of his time with Robyn. So we're going to see, I know they have so much real estate, and I don't think they've been the best with their financial decisions, which could be why they're always bopping around. I can't imagine just like moving your family so many times around the country. Like, why is there this incessant need? I mean, I know polygamy is complicated, but why wouldn't they just stay in Utah where like it's not necessarily like it's illegal there, but a lot more polygamists live there and they're less likely to be prosecuted. Even though it's illegal, it's still not highly prosecuted. All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Why did they move to Flagstaff? Are you surprised that Janelle has the smallest house? Are you surprised that Robyn got the McMansion? Tell me what your comments are. Are you looking forward to the new season? Are you excited to see that all of the wives are fighting? Are you not excited? Are you wondering if there's going to be a wife number 5? What are you looking forward to in this new season? And if you've got other comments, questions, concerns, if you want me to look into any stories, let me know as well. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball, on Instagram at withoutacrystalball, and on Twitter at WOACBofficial. As always, if you would to please give me a thumbs up before we leave on the way out, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. All right, you guys, I'll be back later. Bye.